Okay, this video is a continuation of The Hidden History of Science by me, Pete Rogers. We're just going to show a couple more scientists here. We're kind of finishing up on the scientist part of this video. This is Alexander Fleming. He was the discoverer of the antibiotic penicillin, which led to a dramatic improvement in health outcomes for so many people with infections. Here is Arthur Compton, a church deacon who figured out that light was more than a wave. It's also a particle, a photon. Okay. And it's the same old story. When you get to the guys who really made these big discoveries, you see it all comes from Christianity and Western civilization. This book right here is called The Book That Made Your World. It's written by an Indian guy, Vishal Mangalwadi. And he's writing about the history of India. And he said what really made the turning point to improve India was the Christian missionaries. The corporations that came in there, like the East Indies Company, they just wanted to extract wealth from the place, resources, rip them off, okay? Treat the Indian people like savages. But the Christian missionaries helped educate them, teach them English, teach them to read the Bible. And that led to great benefit to the people of India. And I've noticed the ones that become Christian, they're much more sort of altruistic or big worldview thinking rather than just going for the individual money for themselves and their family. They do pretty impressive, great things, like Vishal Mangalwadi, Dinesh D'Souza in particular are quick examples that come to mind. Okay, and it also made him think about freedom. Now here's Charles Lindbergh. He was the first guy to fly across the ocean. Okay, and pretty extraordinary achievement. Oops. Now here is Sir Robert Watson Watt. He's another guy who is he was related to the James Watt, the inventor of the steam engine, and this guy, he invented radar. Okay, another Scottish engineering genius. Okay. And these are a bunch of white Christian guys. All this multiculturalism is BS. Almost nothing came from South America. Almost nothing came from Africa. Almost nothing came from China. It's just the truth. Almost nothing came from the Middle East outside of Europe. It's just a fact. Almost nothing came from Russia. Okay? It came from these European Christian guys and a little bit from the USA ones. That's a fact. And women did almost nothing. Do not take my word for it. Open up the history books and start reading for yourself. You'll see this is the case. In the modern world, the white Christian men are being scapegoated. The billionaires want to eliminate them, remove them from the planet. And I'm just telling you, they're the ones that made civilization. It came from them 99%. That's just a fact. You could look it up. Anybody could look this up. All the little public school Mickey Mouse books are being rewritten to not tell you the truth. This information is still available. They haven't gotten to it yet. Eventually AI will probably erase all this information, but it's there. And you could learn this for yourself very easily. And it's kind of sad that civilization is being destroyed. Europe is being intentionally destroyed right now by mass migration of people that are not that well educated and that are hostile to the West and are going to destroy everything. They're being brought in. It's the men. It's not families, just the men. And they're just bumping off the Christian Europeans. And it's obvious what's coming next. They're going to bump them off. They're going to burn down the churches. And they're going to turn Europe into a third world crap hole. They're already turning Europe into a third world crap hole. I have friends who've gone vacation in Europe, and they said it's not safe to walk around anymore in Paris or in Rome or in London. Okay, these used to be, white Christian cities where it was quite safe to walk around. Now they've become third world crap holes with all kinds of drug dealing and homeless people in the streets, violent people in the streets. They've destroyed. Europe is almost gone. Okay? This is not progress. Nobody's talking about the need for diversity in India. Nobody's talking about the need for diversity in Africa or Asia or anywhere else on the planet or South America. They're just saying it needs to come into the Western Christian countries to destroy them. Okay? And it's a big deal because they're destroying the countries where civilization came from. And don't be so sure that civilization is going to persist. There's every reason to believe that civilization is headed to massive slavery, massive loss of population size, massive drops in fertility rates. It's all bad. There's nothing good about it, okay? So-called improvements in science nowadays are just improvements in technology that's used to control the population. The real technology, things that make things better for people, like the stuff that these guys discovered, that's not being developed. The universities are full of left-wing, morons, okay, that, are trying to tell us that they can't tell the difference between a man and a woman. I mean, that's biology nowadays, that there's no difference between a man and a woman. It's insane. This is all political nonsense, and it's destroying the civilized world, and it's sad, and people are so stupid they go along with it. Just like, anybody that goes along with modern art, you're a moron, okay? Modern art's totally fake. People need to stand up and say, that is the emperor's new clothes, and we need to stop this nonsense. Here's Chuck Yeager. He was an ace fighter pilot in the war, and then he broke the sound barrier as a test pilot, okay? When you study science, engineering, technology in the West, you just see endless amounts of this stuff. Giant major improvements, okay? Here's William Shockley, inventor of the semiconductor transistor, basic building block for modern electronics and making computers, okay? Another, Nobel Prize guy, all right? And here's another Nobel Prize guy. This one is Charles Towns, and he's one of the inventor of the microwave and the laser, okay? And he's a devout member of United Church of Christ, prayed daily. I read his autobiography that he wrote, and he wrote books about how religion and science go together, but religion's more important. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. These blowhards that think atheism makes sense, they're lightweights. Most of them are political and they're dishonest. The reason atheism is promoted is that it gives justification for bumping off, all the white Christian men. For Jenna, you know what comes next. The next word is going to be side. It's the justification for that, because if life has no meaning, then you might as well do whatever you can get away with. And that can include, try to get laid this weekend, get drunk, if you don't like somebody, bump them off. If you don't have Christian ethics in society, you don't have ethics, okay? That's just a fact. As Gottfried Leibniz says, there is either God or there is nothingness, okay? And Nietzsche has said, God is dead, we have killed him. It's more than that. Science is dead, we have killed science. Because once you get rid of Christian ethics, all the scientists just sell out to the highest bidder, and then you just have nonsense taught in the universities, which is what's happening today. Look at healthcare. We got better results treating patients in the 1940s and 1950s than we do get now. And that's because the drug companies control so-called research. Anyways, you can double check everything I said, see for yourself, and you will see this is where all these big breakthroughs in Western civilization came through, and all this stuff's being destroyed now. We are heading back into dark times, into slavery, loss of freedom, loss of private property, loss of free speech, and you know what's going to come next. There's going to be loss of free assembly, loss of free travel, You're going to be in your little 15 minute It's not good. I think he's the last guy in this section here. All right, we'll call it at that point for this section of the book. I hope you found that helpful.